Go ahead and get started. So I just wanted to say good afternoon, everyone. And thank you so much for joining us today. Hopefully you've been listening in to the series of webinars that we've had so far. I'll just wait. I think there's still a couple more people joining us, so just give us a few moments till we let everyone in with all the new changes in Zoom. Obviously everyone has to be in a waiting room and then let in and put in their ID and everything. So I'll just give it a couple of minutes. Perfect. Good. Well, hopefully everyone can hear me okay. And we'll just, if you have any questions, just ask them as we go along. We'll be monitoring the questions and we can either answer them as we go along or when we get through to the end. So I'm just going to get started and just say good afternoon, everyone. Thanks again for joining us today. Hopefully you've been listening into the series of webinars that we've had so far with Sue and Emma talking about immune health, hormones, gut health. If not, I do encourage you to listen into those and to share them. Obviously, you can get those links from the person who invited you to this webinar. And just to say, it's my privilege to share with you today on behalf of my colleagues. You will be invited by one of those colleagues to this webinar. And that's because we're all passionate about helping our clients to better health. And I think particularly now it's becoming more and more important that we put our health first as our #1 priority. So thank you for spending your time with me today. I know there's a lot of free stuff going out there, so I really appreciate you taking time out of your day and spending some time with us. So the first thing I'd like you to do is just a quick exercise for me. If you can put your feet flat on the floor and just start to wiggle your toes. Just close your eyes for me and just carry on wiggling your toes and just really focus on your toes and how they feel, how they're moving. And then just start to notice your hands, where your hands are, whether they feel light or heavy. Just really, really notice them. And then just take a deep breath in for me. So just breathe in, remembering to keep your shoulders down. We need that breath to go deep into your belly, not into your shoulders. So just release that, take another deep breath in, breathe out. And then just one last time, take that deep breath in and breathe out. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. So hopefully that's helped you feel a little bit more calm and relaxed. And I'll explain a little bit later why we've done this exercise. And if I do forget, please do remind me. So my name is Kerry Madgwick. I'm a clinical nutritionist and hypnotherapist. And I have to say that every single client I see is suffering with stress in one form or another that is impacting their health. And it's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about stress relief along with everything else that I do. So firstly, I'm just going to briefly share some information on what I call the gateway to your health, which is your microbiome. So this organ is involved in every single process in your body, from your immune system to your brain function, and it is negatively impacted by stress. So our microbiome controls our immune system. Hopefully you've probably heard this before, but over 80% of your immune system is in your gut. Your hormones, which Emma spoke about last week, having healthy hormones is vital for your immune system. It's your detoxification, so getting rid of any waste, which we have from the food we eat, from any exercise creates waste in the body. We need to get rid of that. And obviously our mental health. So 70% of our serotonin, which our feel-good hormone, is manufactured in the gut, not in the brain. So for a long time, we thought that all of these hormones were manufactured individually in different parts of the body, but they're not. They're actually all controlled by our gut. And then we also have what is called the vagus nerve, which Sue spoke about briefly. And this connects not only our brain, our heart, and our gut, it connects every part of our body. So we absolutely need to keep this nerve functioning optimally, because it sends information backwards and forwards around our body about the state of our organs, and it controls our parasympathetic nervous system. And this is what we call our rest and digest. So we absolutely need to focus on our microbiome health, but optimal health is not just about diet and exercise. And hopefully you'll all agree with that. So it's not just about your whole lifestyle. You cannot just heal one aspect of your health. We have to work with everything. So the other thing we need is support, and particularly in the times that we're facing now, we really need the support. And we have a group which I'll talk to you a little bit about a little bit later on. So when we talk about health, for example, you can eat the most nutrient-dense diet on the planet and exercise, but you can have poor gut health and you can have really negative thoughts. Or you can have the most positive thoughts, but have a really awful diet and exercise. But at the end of the day, neither of these scenarios will bring you good health, and they won't help your immune system. So today we're just going to talk about stress. We're going to talk about emotional stress. So these are your thoughts and how they impact your immune system. So if you remember the exercise we did to start, what you did was something amazing for your microbiome and your immune system, because you may not realize it, but you completely switched off your fight, flight, freeze mode and switched on your rest and digest mode. This is your parasympathetic nervous system. And what you've done is actually given your immune system a little bit of a boost. And this is absolutely crucial because our bodies cannot be in fight or flight and rest and digest at the same time. And the reason for this is that when we're in fight and flight, we're in a chaotic state. We lose 31% of our creative brain capacity under stress. So if you think about, we had the whole toilet roll saga, everyone went, why toilet rolls? But what happens is someone goes in and they buy a lot of something and someone else sees that happening and they don't think about it because they automatically go into that stress. Oh my God, if they're doing it, I need to do it. And everyone just follows suit. And that's where the whole thing starts. So it doesn't have to make sense. It's just that we've lost that creative reasoning part of our brain and we just go into the, if they're buying it, I need it, and that's what happens. So we then also have that creative state, and that creative state is what helps us to question things, to keep positive and to move forward. And in order for us to start controlling our health and our stress, we absolutely must learn to switch out of this chaotic state and into the creative state. And I think that's one thing that now is more important than ever, that we need that creative state. We need to be in that state of creating things and moving forward rather than going into our fight, flight, freeze. And that's where a lot of people are. They're frozen because of the fear and they can't move forward. So we all know that we have physical stress and we have emotional stress, and your body reacts exactly the same way. So your brain's job is there to help you to survive. And when it perceives stress, whether that's physical or emotional, it cannot tell the difference. So stress is stress. Your fight, flight, freeze kicks in, and under emotional stress, we very quickly slip into this chaotic monkey mind that I call it. It takes less than a few seconds to spiral out of control. So we all know that negative voice that chatters away and chatters away. It's just like a monkey. It never shuts up. And at the moment, we've got news, social media, there's a lot of misinformation, and we're dealing with this at the moment on a much larger scale. Everyone's got their own opinion. People are not passing on facts, they're passing on things that they've heard, and they've built on their own opinions and their interpretations of that. So basically we can go from that meeting didn't go as planned to, oh my God, my career's over, that's the end of it. And this literally happens in 2 seconds. And we've all been there because that's how our mind works. Unfortunately, it very, very quickly spirals out of control. And the thing is, understandably, at the moment, you might feel that the stress is out of your control, and you might feel that it's normal because that's what everybody is feeling. But the stress comes from your mind and how you perceive your situation and how you react to them. So for example, we're stuck in lockdown at the moment. Do you stress and worry about how you'll get your food, if you can go out, if you can't go out, your finances, are you eligible for the government packages? It's so inconvenient, it's so confusing. You think people are being so irresponsible, you check the news every 5 minutes to see what's going on. Or do you take a few deep breaths, just think with gratitude that you don't have the virus, we're all in this together, the banks and the government and everyone are doing everything they can, listen into an inspirational audio book, sing along to your favorite songs, join a positive Facebook community. And the thing is with this, the first point is you have no control over what is going on outside. So we have no control over the virus and what is happening in the bigger scheme of things. But we do have control over how we react and what we do. So you can find negative and the worst in every situation, or you can find the best in that situation. And the thing with this is that when you find the negative and you spiral out of control, stress happens, and stress shuts off your immune system. And that is when you open yourself up to ill health. Okay, the second option that we spoke about keeps you calm, relaxed, in that creative and happy state, and boosts your immune system. So hopefully you see the difference and you can understand the difference in getting into that chaotic, uncreative spiral, as to actually you can control what you think and how you feel and what you do about it. So obviously some stress can be healthy because it gives us drive and motivation, but it's when it comes to this excessive and chronic stress that is left untreated that it contributes to anxiety and illness. And for a lot of people, this is the stress that they're facing now. So Emma spoke about cortisol and insulin last week, and when we're stressed, we release these hormones, and that stress comes from your thoughts. You know, it doesn't just come from only physical stress, it comes from our thoughts and our feelings. And what happens is when we're in a stress situation, if you had to fight or flight, you need adrenaline for strength and cortisol for energy. But when it's just your thoughts and you're sat at home behind a desk, that stored glycogen is still being released as glucose sugar into the bloodstream, and it's still going to create that insulin resistance, which leads to weight gain. It leads to inflammation in the body. And sorry, I'm not even moving my slides along, I'm so busy talking. So and that's what happens. That's what stress does to your body. So we become anxious, we become nervous, we become twitchy and irritable, because the adrenaline and cortisol is being released into our system, so that your heart rate goes up, your blood pressure increases. And we need this energy if we're in an emergency. But we're not in an emergency, we just have these stressful thoughts that are going on. And what happens is these two hormones, cortisol and adrenaline, together suppress the immune system. They suppress our digestive system. And in times of stress, our bodies use more vitamins. So we use more vitamin C, we use more vitamin D, we use more iron, and we use more magnesium. And we use and need more nutrients overall. And we need to repair after the wear and tear from stress. But if your digestion is switched off and you have a further lack of nutrients, then you've got lowered immunity and you end up in this vicious cycle on a hamster wheel. And you cannot live like this and stay healthy. So as you can see from the slide, the things we're facing is that it dries out your skin, we age faster, it switches off your reproductive system. We spoke about switching off that prefrontal creative reasoning part of the brain. Your cognitive function goes down by 31%. The decisions we start to make are not very intelligent, they're simply to keep us alive. And our memory switches off as part of this creative mechanism as well. So protective mechanism. And when we have this chronic day in, day out stress, it becomes very destructive. And a lack of sleep raises stress hormones even more. And what happens is these stress hormones keep you awake at night because they think you need to stay awake to fight or flight. So we will be talking about sleep and its impact in a later webinar. So obviously we all know the usual causes of stress, which is illness, work, financial problems, challenging relationships, family. But the other things that cause stress in our body are eating the wrong foods, processed and packaged foods, pharmaceutical drugs, imbalances in the gut. So if your gut bacteria is imbalanced, that creates a stress on your body. Oh, sorry, that's me. So as we talked about, constant negative thoughts, dehydration, unhealthy habits, so not moving, any injuries, all of these contribute to stress. And if you have something that's short term, it's stress that's been with you for less than a week or 2 weeks. But when we have this for longer, it's chronic long-term stress, and this is where we create our health issues. So what happens is basically our stress switch is stuck on the on position, if you think about being switched on and off. And what happens is your body literally responds as if it's always in danger. Our stress levels are elevated, our microbiome is affected, our immunity goes down, and the body becomes extremely vulnerable to ill health. So obviously we're always here to talk about the solutions, not just about you know, the things that can go wrong, but what we can do to make those right. So they're things that we talk about all the time, and they are, you know, important now as they always are. Start your day with a healthy breakfast. We need a protein-rich breakfast with healthy fats. And this helps prevent the blood sugar crashes throughout the day. We talked about insulin and cortisol, and we need to keep everything kind of on an even keel, not this kind of up and down crash as we go through the day. Exercise is obviously a well-proven stress reliever, and we'll be talking about exercise in a later webinar. Sleep, as I said, we'll be talking about that in an upcoming webinar. But sleep is crucial to your well-being. Most of us need at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Deep breathing exercises can help you relax. So the exercise we did earlier, meditation, these are scientifically shown to switch off your fight flight. And the best part with these things is they don't require any special equipment. You can practice it wherever you are. Your breath goes with you wherever you are. All you need to do is make sure that you do that deep breathing, so not shallow breathing, which we can do when we're stressed. We shallow breathe into our shoulders instead of deep breathing into our belly. So just remember, it's the deep breathing that we need. The other thing we need is we need to be leaning on our communities now. Surrounding ourselves with a positive community makes a big difference, and it's being positive. And I'm not saying that we won't have down days, but I'm just saying that you can get through it, and being in the right community can help with that. And we'll talk about that and give you an opportunity to join our community towards the end. The other thing we need to do is increase our nutrient intake. And supplementation is highly recommended, because we spoke about stress and how it depletes everything. Your body has to work harder. We're dealing with oxidative stress. We need antioxidants to mop up those free radicals. So if you think about those free radicals kind of on the loose, creating damage inside, we need something to mop those up, and that's what we get from our antioxidants. And the thing is with all of these things is that they help to boost our immunity. And of course, you know, we've spoken about gut health, which is crucial. We need to eat slowly, chew thoroughly, and really give your digestion the best chance to work effectively. The other thing we need to do is avoid toxins, and that includes toxic personalities. You know, the type of people. We're physically distanced at the moment, but there's still people who always complain, drain your energy, and you know who they are. It's easier now to keep distance from those people, but it's also social media. Make sure that you're part of a positive, uplifting group, not people who are moaning and complaining about everything. So our food, nutrient and supplement intake is more important than ever. And for me particularly, this is supplements. You do not want to be taking supplements when you don't know what is in them, how they are tested, and how pure they are. So for me as a nutritional therapist, I simply will not take high street supplements because I don't know what is in them. We need to be aware of how our food is processed, packaged, where it comes from. Now more than ever, we really need, you know, to be aware of that, and how everything is processed and kept clean, with toxins being removed and not in our supplements. And it's something that we really need to focus on. So this just brings me to a special offer that we have on at the moment. And the thing is when life throws you a curveball, which it has at the moment, it disrupts our normal routine, which it has for everybody. And unfortunately, in most cases, our nutrition is the first thing that begins to suffer. So we have this fabulous V3 system on offer. It's called the Vital 3. And if you want to join with this offer, then you get to join that, and you get to join our positive, uplifting community, where you will have mindset tips and advice. Everybody in there is positive, sharing and helping each other, because that's what we need to do. We'll stay stronger together, and we will get through this together. So just to talk a little bit individually about these supplements. So Pro-Arginine boosts our nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is really important in our immune health at the moment. It is because it expands and cleans our blood vessels and it allows our blood to flow. One of the biggest things we need is oxygen. We need our blood to be oxygenated. We need our mucous membranes to be really healthy. We need our lungs to be healthy. So this is really important. And the Pro-Arginine is pre and probiotic as well. It contains zinc, and these are all essential for boosting our immunity and, as I say, allowing nature to do its work. It contains essential vitamins, so it's got vitamin C, it's got vitamin D3, it's got the vitamin Bs, which we spoke about. So vitamin C and vitamin B we spoke about being depleted during stress. And each of these vitamins plays a vital role in the normal functioning of our nervous and our immune system, whilst helping to reduce fatigue and helping to contribute to normal psychological function. So it's a key part in maintaining normal bones, because it's got the D3 and the vitamin K. So really important. It improves our blood sugar balance. We spoke about blood sugar being in balance and how important it is to keep that balance, to keep our energy levels up as well. So, gosh, sorry. So the other thing that I just wanted to mention was that all of these supplements are in a liquid form as well. So by taking supplements in a liquid form, they enter into our body and absorbed by our body much quicker than your food is. So when we need those additional supplements for repair, it's an ideal way to do it is to get our supplements in liquid form, because of how quickly they get into our body and can be utilized to help the body repair and to function optimally. So the two other components of the V3 system are the Mystify, which has pomegranate, which helps with our microbiome health, and this specifically helps to mop up the free radical damage. It's an antioxidant. It's got acai berry and the pomegranate, so really, really important for antioxidants for our immune health. And the Phytolife is the greens. I think we all know how important greens are. Most people are not getting enough greens, and I think particularly now when I think getting fresh foods can sometimes be a challenge. I think it's more important now than ever that we make sure that we're having our greens in that form, and it also helps to contribute to our normal digestive function, and we've talked about how important our digestion is. So together these products help to build, sustain and enhance our body's performance levels. They're all scientifically formulated to target our health, so it contributes to our overall overall health, ultimately creating that balance and helping us with long-term wellness. So as part of this, as I said, part of this is having a community and being part of that community, being able to support each other. So along with this, we obviously have a 21 days to stronger immunity. We have a Facebook group for support, as I said. In that, we've got the immune boosting recipes, food plans, activities. We talked about the meditation and breathing, live feeds and webinars, and this is all just helping to go on with accountability for our health, because we know, as I said, when things become challenging, sometimes our nutrition is the thing that falls away the most. But if we can keep accountable and help support each other, then that's, you know, I think that's going to go a long way to keeping us healthy, keeping us focused and keeping us positive. So as you can see there, it's just over £3 a day for 30 days. We're not going out, we're not buying our coffees, we're not spending money on fuel because we're not going anywhere. There's loads of places where we're saving money, and I think it's, you know, it's really important that we invest that money in our health, because I honestly believe now more than ever our health should be our #1 priority. So just to say thank you so much for your time. I'm aware that I've probably rushed through that, and I hope that I haven't spoken too quickly for you all to get all the information that you need. But please do go back to the person who invited you to the webinar. Ensure that you boost your immune health. Find out how you can join our 21 days to stronger immunity group and get access to those amazing supplements. And don't forget to tune in next week. We'll have another great webinar. They're going to continue on weekly from 2 to 2:30. So just make sure that once again you speak to the person who introduced you today to get all the details of the webinars going forward, and they are the person who will help and guide you to your 21 days to stronger immunity. So thank you so much everybody for your time. I am just going to hand back over to Sue at the moment. Am I, Sue, or you?
No, I don't think so. I was going to let you finish the
webinar.
Right.
Okay, that's fine. So that's fine. So yeah, once again, thank you so much for your time. As I said, I know that there's so much free stuff going on at the moment, so we really appreciate you spending your time with us today, and we look forward to welcoming you into our 21 Days to Stronger Immunity Facebook group. So thank you everyone so much for your time, and we'll see you at the same time next week. Take care and have a good afternoon.